The first game of the season was between Chelsea and Liverpool, and in that game, Chelsea played well. They played Liverpool very well, and they were actually good things. Like some Chelsea fans were excited, there were good signs the way Chelsea played, and the game ended 1-1. What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel. And today, I just want to talk about what can actually be like a good season for Chelsea. Like, what can Chelsea say? Okay, this was like a success for us, like something they can say. We're happy the way the season ended because we all know Pochettino is on pressure. They lost the Carabao Cup, and the media is trying to push a narrative whereby it's as if club use kids to win the competition. If you didn't watch the game and maybe you just read the headline, you'll feel kids were the one that played the game from like the first minute to the last whistle of the game, of which we know Chelsea in the full 90 minutes. Chelsea played very well. They had chances. Liverpool had chances. In extra time, Chelsea didn't play well. They they were just sitting back, and that's where the substitutions where Klopp made, they were very very effective. And kudos to the kids, kudos to Klopp, kudos to Liverpool, like kudos to the Liverpool like team, all of them. They actually did well. They deserve to win. Now, what can actually be like a good season for Chelsea? What can be like a successful season for them? Currently, they are sitting in 11th in the on the league table. They've been trying to get out of that 11th. They always go to 10, 10, 11, 10, 11. So currently they are in 11th. And at the beginning of this season, when I was giving my Premier League prediction, I said Chelsea were actually going to finish 5th because I felt those players, there were too many players on his hands, and I just felt it was like a problem for him to get the best out of them. Like a majority of those players were not his signees, and they were very young as well. So I felt it would actually take time for him to get. Like I just felt this season for Pochettino was like a trial and error for him to get the best 11, the ones he can actually trust to go on to give him the results he wants. So in the FA Cup, they faced Leeds United, and they were okay in that game. They were just all right. If they had lost that game, considering the pressure on Pochettino right now and the rumors already going around saying the board is already looking for like a replacement. If they had lost that game to Leeds United, honestly, I'm not sure Pochettino would be the next. Maybe he might still be the next manager by their next. He might still be the manager by their next Premier League game, because I'm sure that would have forced them maybe to sack him. But maybe they're just waiting to see how it plays out till the end of the season. So they won Leeds United 3-2, and they'll be facing Leicester City. Manchester and Liverpool are playing, and I'm guessing whoever wins that game will likely get to the final. Can Chelsea get to the final? It's very possible Chelsea can get to the final. Manchester City were playing Newcastle United, but Leicester City are not an easy side because Leicester City they play well, and that's another Pep disciple. So Pochettino will have to play well. He will have to come. He will have to come correct. Honestly, the Chelsea, they will have to come correct playing against Leicester, because Leicester can actually hold them to penalties, and you can never tell what will happen. But if Chelsea wins the FA Cup, which I feel is going to be very difficult, it's going to be very very difficult. If they can win the FA Cup and Pochettino is able to finish the season between, I don't see them making, of course, they can't make top four. I don't even see them finishing in 5th. It will be very hard. But if they can finish between 6, 7, that's qualifying for Europa League and having an FA Cup, I think that'll be an okay season. That'll be a good season. Yes, it's not the Champions League, but at least they won a trophy. They won a big trophy. The FA Cup, they won a major trophy. It's a big trophy. So that won't be a bad season, considering a year where it's not the first time he's been in the Premier League, but it's the first time he has, like, he's managing like I'm not so a big Premier League club. You can say the first time he's managing it's the first time he's managing a big Premier League club, because it was a Southampton. Then I think from Southampton he moved to Spurs, then to Chelsea. So and also Chelsea have had some setbacks like this season in terms of injury. Nkuku came, he went back. Lavia came, went back. Rich James has been out. Ben Chilwell is back. I think Sanchez, their goalkeeper, just came back. So they've had injury setback, but there are some points where they had some of their key players fit in the season. There was a point in the season where majority of some of their players were fit. Pochettino, you can actually criticize him. There are games where he has not done well in terms of playing players out of position. Like Kobe will be playing that left hand side, maybe playing players out of position. You can criticize him in those aspects, and maybe some of his substitutions and decision making, which that happens to almost every manager sometimes. So finishing between 6 and 7 and winning an FA Cup, I think that'll be an okay one for Chelsea. Honestly, to be a good season for them. And if I'm to rate the season, honestly, I'll give it like if they actually do it, if they finish between 6 and 7 and they win the FA Cup, I'll give them like a 5/10 kind of season. I think that would be an okay one because it's actually not easy. Actually, not easy. Pochettino knows he's on so much pressure. The statements Gary Neville made, honestly, I think that's going to affect mentally. That's going to affect Pochettino. Because they'll be going to every game trying to prove something. Now mentally, that will affect Pochettino. Just like when Mourinho said to Wenger, he's a specialist in failure. That's how big that statement is. That is statement Gary Neville made. A billion, I think he said something like a blue billion pound bottle job, something like that. So that statement is psychologically that's going to affect this Chelsea team because now they know they have to go into every game trying to prove something. Imagine they lost the game against Leeds United. Oh my God, that would be very, very bad. So is either they take that statement and try to prove Gary Neville and the rest, every other person, wrong by winning games and actually going far in the FA Cup. Because can they make it to the final of the FA Cup? Is, like I said, it's possible, but to be a very, very difficult one. But if they qualify for Europa and win the FA Cup, I'll say they actually did well. And Chelsea side are a very young side. Honestly, they're a very, very young side. I know there are so much expectations from them considering how much they've spent. When you look at Enzo has not really hit his potential, but it's his first season. Maybe he needs time. Caicedo is the one surprising me because Caicedo already has that Premier League experience. So I don't understand why Caicedo is struggling. Maybe the system, because we all know how good Caicedo was in Brighton, and when he came into Chelsea, I think his very first game, so when he came into Chelsea, he gave a penalty. Like there was something he did. He gave a penalty or so, but hopefully he will get back to his best. But Chelsea have the youngest squad in the league, and there's a style of play. You can actually see what Pochettino is trying to do. I know there was a time in the season where Chelsea were a team, if they come up against the big teams, they play very well, but when they come up against the other teams around them, the other little teams, is where they struggled in terms of creating, because they will create so many chances but they don't convert their chance, of which I've said they should move Jackson to the wing and maybe go and look for a proper number 9, a proper striker, because they will always create chance. Because there are games where even when they played Manchester City, they almost won the game at the Etihad Stadium, except when Liverpool now blew them away. And that's it for me, guys. Let me know what you think in regards to Chelsea in the comment section. Thank you very much.